Dow Jones, high yield bonds, and most importantly the equal weight ETFs all made new records today. This is showing that the rally is broad, there is a lot of participation, and many stocks are moving higher at the same time. The gold miners hit all-time highs. At the same time, the dollar has failed to break higher and could actually roll over and hit new lows. So gold most likely will continue higher in this scenario. And we'll look at Ethereum as it quietly hit an all-time high. And I just read an article in the Wall Street Journal how Ethereum could become a new platform of importance. So we'll look at how to trade Ethereum as it makes new records. All this and more in today's edition of MasterChartsTrading.com market recap for Friday, August 22nd, 2025. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share, and comment on this video. If you're a subscriber, stay tuned. We'll be covering various ETFs, large cap stocks, speculative securities, as well as gold related that we trade in our daily newsletter and weekly newsletter that I send out for the members only. If you're not yet a subscriber, consider signing up by going to MasterChartsTrading.com, clicking on one of the products. Okay, so let's look at S&P 500 first and foremost. So on the weekly time frame, this is each candlestick is a week's worth of activity. We can see that we didn't make new all-time high this week. However, we closed at all-time highs. So notice that this green bar is above the previous close, which was at 6,449, and this week the close was at 6,466. So the new record high was made, just not an all-time high. It was a closing high, and most importantly it was closed on a Friday, so good news there. We're seeing new records for S&P 500. We are continuously looking for opportunities to buy various stocks. Notice that, for example, there's a lot of ETFs that we trade. Large cap stocks like Apple, Chevron, Ford, Pfizer, ExxonMobil, as well as a whole bunch of speculative securities. So we have quite a bit of stocks that are there for you to take opportunities of. I send out quite a bit of alerts, but not everybody takes every single alert, so you can pick and choose. So basically we're looking again for opportunities to buy within the stock universe. Even if we're going to continue make records, yes, it's going to be overbought, but that doesn't mean it's weak. Overbought means strong. It means that there is a strength to this market, and we're continuously seeing new records. High yield bonds, this is high yield bonds, ticker symbol JNK, also made a new record today on Friday. It is important to understand why high yield bonds are important when you look at the stock market, at the health of the stock market. So notice down below here this yellow graph. It shows correlation between JNK, high yield bonds, and S&P 500. And notice that it is a very high degree of correlation between the two funds. So when the stocks and junk debt move together in lockstep, I see it's as a good sign. And I want to continue looking for buying opportunities within the stock universe. So this high yield bonds hitting new all-time high is just another confirmation that we're definitely in a bull market. Another important piece of the puzzle was this Dow Jones, of course. So Dow Jones is one of the oldest, probably the oldest, one of the oldest indices out there. It's still useful, although not as useful as before. But yes, we still have an ETF called DIA, and it has a decent amount of volume, 8.5 million shares traded a day. So that's a decent amount of volume. And again, record highs today. Again, this is showing not that in this case we're seeing those stocks which are more stodgy, more important than some of the other ones. But within DAO, there's just important stuff basically that everybody buys and everybody owns. And so when it's making new record, it's showing that the economy is doing just fine. Finally, on the stock front, I wanted to show this, which is RSP, ticker symbol RSP. This is equal weight ETF. So RSP, this is a weekly chart of equal weight ETF. So within this fund, RSP, there are 500 stocks, and they're all weighted about the same. They're all like a few percent, 0.5% or even less than 0.5%. So this is showing, in this fund, Apple is going to be weighed the same as Johnson & Johnson, even though Apple is bigger. So within this fund, since every single stock is weighted the same, yet it is making new record, this is showing me that all stocks are participating, both small, mid cap, and large cap. Although within S&P 500 there's more large cap, but there are still tendency of those stocks, the smaller ones or bigger ones. So by and large, again, we're seeing a broad participation within the stock market. Most indices and most industry groups and most sectors are also making new records. So this is showing no divergence, and again showing broad participation in the current rally. So we can expect this rally to continue. Where we can expect it to continue to, I already showed it last time. So generally speaking, when there is a breakout that occurs, so there is a new breakout that occurred the week of 23rd of June right here, towards new records. And basically, if we see the depth of this pattern, this V-shaped pattern, between January of this year and June of this year, so the depth of this pattern is about 1,300 points, so 27%. So if this 1,300 points is going to be duplicated on the upside, then we'll see S&P 500 somewhere within the 7,400 area. When, it could be as early as the beginning of next year. It just depends on how steep this advance is going to be. I mean, if the advance will be just as it is right now, we could see it late December of this year, 2025. Of course, nothing is ever written in stone, and we could see a pullback towards the breakout levels, and then maybe another attempt, and maybe another attempt to go higher. But by and large, definitely we're in a bull market, no questions about it. Let's look now at the dollar currency index. This is called ticker symbol DXY. So a few weeks ago in early July, I pointed out this low. We definitely got this rally, but we just didn't get that far. So like today, for example, to my subscribers, I wrote here, a resistance at the yellow line and trend line break. New lows are likely. So yellow line is one of my indicators right there. So you can see that so far it hasn't been able to penetrate above the resistance since beginning of this month basically. And today actually had a strong selling here. And the trend line, I just sort of drew it in. So one of the ways to draw this trend line, there are many ways to do it. So if this is the way to draw this trend line, then we already broke this line at this level. So possibly we'll see new lows for the dollar. The reason why I think dollar is not looking good is because of the way gold miners are acting. Here is GDX, gold miners ETF. This is an all-time high. So we can go back to a while back. So previous all-time highs were in October 2011, and we can see that we just exceeded that level this week. So all-time highs for gold miners, it makes sense because dollar seems to be under pressure and most likely will break down. So when gold miners are making new records, shouldn't gold also be making new records? Technically speaking, yes. These are gold futures, GC1 exclamation point on TradingView.com, and this is AUDUSD for Forex. So you can see that on Forex markets we did not make a new record for some reason, but for futures market was a new record was set on the 8th of August. So who do you believe? I sort of want to trust more the gold futures, and notice the way this pattern has been unfolding. So a new record was set on 8th of August, pullback, kind of bottoming action around the green line, and a surge. So a green line is around 3,300 or so for a gold future. So as long as we hold here at this level at around 3,300, we can probably start making new records, especially the way gold, the dollar is doing. Just it looks kind of precarious. I think maybe we'll see new lows for the dollar, by extension new highs for gold market and gold miners as well. Finally, I wanted to show Ethereum. So sometimes we trade Ethereum, but lately we've been kind of just watching more Ethereum and trading more Bitcoin. But let's just say that you have my indicators. Again, you can get these indicators at for TradingView.com. So notice this: when we see a close below the red line, as in we did, for example, here on the 3rd of February of this year, that means that security, in this case Ethereum, has changed into a downtrend. So at this point, we might as well start selling. And if you had my indicators, you could have shorted Ethereum. There was another time right there in mid-February. You could have shorted Ethereum very easily. So a few more opportunities to short Ethereum were in May and then again in June, but they were not very successful. Obviously, maybe you made, maybe you broke even. Latest opportunity was in the other direction. So when we see a security doing the opposite, it breaks above the blue line, as it did, for example, in this case on 15th of July. So this is actually all you need to do. Download my indicators, and once the security breaks above the blue line, we just buy it right there. And then, there's a nice move for Ethereum, very strong move. That's a 55% move from 3,000 to about 4,800, and it does look set as it's going to continue higher. So I just read something about, I saw an article, I haven't actually read it, about the Ethereum in Wall Street Journal. So it does look like this might become the next big thing. So Ethereum right now looking good. What do I want to do with it? When do I want to buy it? Well, as long as you have my indicators, that I would be basically waiting for a pullback towards the blue line. So in this case, let's just say that it just pulls back today. Then we want to be looking for a pullback towards this level of 3,500 or so, which is the blue line. And then again, once we touch that level, something like this. So we move high and then pull back and then buy again, pull back towards the blue line, buy again, etc. So we're looking for something the same for Ethereum. Pull back towards 3,500 will probably be ideal. That's it for this week's recap. Let me know if you have any questions. Head over to MasterChartsTrading.com, click on sign up. So again, I have two plans, and I have one combination of plans. The trading indicators are available for this interface, TradingView.com. So you need to go to TradingView.com and then get a free TradingView account. Then come back to my site, MasterChartsTrading.com, and then sign up for my indicators. And then once you do that, I will open the door for you on that platform, TradingView.com. I know it sounds a little weird, convoluted, but that's just the way it works. If you just want my ideas of what I would trade, so sign up for the newsletters. If you want both trading indicators and newsletters, that's the best deal. And the best deal is to get the yearly subscription, which is equivalent to 2 months off from the monthly subscription. All of the plans have free 7-day trials, so you have a chance to try it out, and if you don't want it, to cancel. But most people do not cancel. That's it for this week's recap. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, share this video, and have another great trading week. Bye-bye.